Heading into week 3 of the fantasy football season, I'm giving you my starts and sits at the quarterback position. Now, please be aware, of course, you're going to start guys like Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes. That's not what this video is about. If you're in a 2-quarterback league, a super flex league, or you're streaming the position, I'm going to hopefully give you some confidence in options or tell you maybe there's better options out there that you could look at. So why don't you comment down below, tell me your favorite quarterback start of the week. If you have any start sit questions, we go live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and subscribe, like, so you don't miss out on that. My first start of the week, bear with me, Kirk Cousins. I know. We all just watched Kirk Cousins get absolutely destroyed by the Eagles defense on Monday Night Football. But this offense will bounce back. They're facing the Lions in week 3, who currently give up the 8th most points to the quarterback position in fantasy. In week 1, the Eagles is who the Lions faced, and Jalen Hurts was a quarterback 4. In week 2, they faced the Commanders, and Carson Wentz was the quarterback 5. So in 2 weeks so far, the Lions on average are giving up 346 yards to the quarterback position alone, just to the quarterbacks. We're not talking about rush yards or anything else. They're also giving up multiple touchdowns to quarterbacks on average right now. So this will be a close game. I like Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson to bounce back here in week 3. Cousins will finish as a top 12 quarterback, and he's a pretty good streaming option. My second start of the week at the quarterback position is Marcus Mariota at the Seattle Seahawks. Give me a second. I know Mariota is not a sexy name, but the Seahawks currently around middle of the pack. They give up the 13th most points to the position through 2 weeks though. And even versus a really good Los Angeles Rams defense, keep in mind. Through 2 weeks, Mariota is averaging over 19 points in fantasy football. That's if you're in a 6-point passing touchdown league like we are. He's also been really involved in the run game, averaging 9 attempts each game and 44 yards on the ground. You have Drake London, who looks like the truth. You have Kyle Pitts, who absolutely is the truth. That doesn't hurt your fantasy upside either. Now you face Seattle in what should be a competitive game between two of maybe, the worst teams in the NFL, or what we expect to be this year. It should be relatively competitive. Give me Marcus Mariota as a high-end quarterback 2 here in week 3. Keep in mind, though, those interceptions and some of those mistakes were not on him. The Cordero Patterson tip-up, that interception was not his fault. He's played really good. I actually think we should give Marcus Mariota a little bit more respect. He's a high-end quarterback 2 for me here in week 3. And my third start of the week at the quarterback position is Derek Carr at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans currently give up the 7th most points to fantasy quarterbacks. Again, it's only been 2 weeks, so that number isn't all that reliable, but they haven't necessarily been a shutdown defense versus quarterbacks. To be fair, Carr hasn't necessarily exceeded expectations so far this year. He has 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and the team is 0-2. However, he is coming off a quarterback 10 finish last week versus Arizona. So you got Devontae Adams still, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, more than enough weapons to find himself in a top 12 finish here in week 3 versus the Titans. They cannot start the year 0-3. The Raiders just cannot start the year 0-3. They're going to have to take extra risks if it's 4th down. They're not going to be able to play it safe. They need to get a win on the board. Expect them to be aggressive, and Derek Carr should be a top 12 option here in week 3 again. My fourth start of the week, and without a doubt the most risky one on this list, is Carson Wentz versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We all just watched Monday Night Football, and we watched Kirk Cousins get absolutely destroyed. And I understand the Eagles are very good defense. I believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. They are an incredible defense. I have no doubt that the Eagles will be able to score on this Commanders defense, easily, which is going to mean that the Commanders and Carson Wentz are going to need to be putting up points. They're going to need to come from behind, and Carson is guaranteed to probably throw an interception. So you just need to get that out of the way. He's going to throw an interception. There will be a turnover, but there should be plenty of opportunities to throw the ball in a negative game script. And I understand Kirk was shut down, but that is Kirk on prime time. That is what we should expect. And to be fair, they didn't really use Dalvin Cook the right way. I mean, it was really just Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson's incredible, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But with the Commanders, you have Terry, you have Curtis Samuel, you have Jahan Dotson, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissic. There's enough weapons here where you don't have to game plan as an offense just to get Terry McLaurin the ball. I think he's going to be successful, but if he's guarded by Darius Slay, for example, well, you still have Curtis Samuel, you still have Jahan Dotson, Logan Thomas. So while the Commanders will be coming from behind and they'll likely lose this game, Carson Wentz has a chance to, again, finish as a top 12 quarterback. It's one of the most risky ones this week for me, but Carson is currently quarterback 2 on the year. And yes, the competition wasn't all that difficult, but put some respect on his name. Quarterback 2 on the year. He has delivered. I think he is constantly being put down in the mainstream media, and I don't think he should be put down that way. Whenever the Commanders were able to stop the pressure versus the Lions, he was able to really operate well in the pocket. So I think Carson is good for 2 touchdowns here in week 3. I think the Eagles run away with this game, but Carson Wentz, the negative game script could help him. And it's really hard to find good options at quarterback this week. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, it is really hard to find more than 4 non-obvious players to start at the quarterback position. It's a hard week here. And I'm going to quickly give you 2 sits of the week for me at the quarterback position. Number 1, do not play Jameis Winston at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers currently give up the 4th fewest points to the quarterback position, and their defense is vastly underrated. I said this before we went into the season, but that defense is much better than people give them credit for, and they are the reason that this team is currently staying in these games. Jameis can typically overcome like the Panthers defense in these divisional games, but it's so obvious that he is not himself with these 4 fractures that he has in his back. So I don't think you can start Jameis Winston right now against this defense. I think there's better options out there on the waivers in a 1 quarterback league. My second sit is Jimmy Garoppolo at the Broncos. Jimmy had a fine day in Seattle. He had a really good day, but keep in mind Seattle and the Denver Broncos are 2 completely different defenses. The Denver Broncos currently give up the 6th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. They also give up the 5th least amount of points to NFL offenses through 2 weeks. So I think you should look elsewhere, and there's probably a lot better options out there on the waiver wire in a 1 quarterback league. So these are my starts and my sits of the week here going into week 3. Like the video, comment your thoughts or questions, and subscribe so you don't miss out on these weekly.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.